What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is literally 106 degrees today in Amarillo, Texas. It's insane, but we are doing some cleaning up in the back shop. As you guys know, the Mustang's been back here for a little bit. Been working on it. As you guys saw in the previous video, we got the transmission in. I do need to check the fluid, so I've got it on jack stand still. I got it nice and leveled, so I'm gonna run it through the gears. The best way to do this actually to check transmission fluid is get the car warm, run it through all the gears, first, second, third, reverse, and then check the fluid level. So we're gonna do that, and then we're actually going to get the car out here in a little bit, but we've gotta clean up the back shop. It's kind of a mess. We're gonna do some organizing back here, but it's a good time to check the transmission level, make sure we got no leaks, and then we're actually gonna take the Mustang out and do some street car shit, and we're gonna get some photos of it. So Kennedy's inside right now because, like I said, it's 106 degrees, and she's like, I'm not coming out there until it cools off a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna get the Mustang, get the fluid checked, and we're gonna clean it up obviously a little bit. It's been sitting in the garage for a while. It's actually not too dirty, just probably a ton of brake dust on the wheels like always, but that's to be expected with these brakes. So we're gonna get the fluid checked, and we're gonna get it off jack stands, and we're gonna get this thing out on the street today. Back to street mode. Got the Magnum going, finally kicking the freaking Magnum out of here. Hunk of crap. Actually used my little battery that I used to use in the Mustang to start the Magnum up. But yeah, we're kicking this thing out finally. So I'm putting some air back in the tires, and then I'm gonna move the Mustang out to the front so we can get the Magnum out. And then we're gonna clean up the Mustang, and hopefully, like I said, it was literally 106 degrees, and that kind of looks like it's gonna rain. So we'll see if it actually rains or not. But just got the Mustang off the jack stands, topped it off with trans fluid. I'll probably drive it around a little bit after I clean it, and then make sure the trans fluid's good to go, and then we'll get some pictures of it. Street car. So actually we made it back and it was dark out, so we're gonna wash the car tonight actually, and we're gonna take some pictures tomorrow. So catch up with you guys tomorrow, but little street car's out tonight. All right guys, so as you saw, it started raining last night, so I didn't actually get to clean up the Mustang, so we're gonna clean it up here today. I did get all the stickers actually off the Mustang, so you guys know I'm gonna wrap it soon, so I'm gonna get all the stickers cut from the vinyl to match. So all the stickers are actually off the car. And yeah, we're gonna get it cleaned up here. It is blazing hot again in Amarillo, Texas, but we're gonna get the Mustang rolled out here in just a minute. and start getting her cleaned up. And that street car on a road trip with all these bags in here. Freaking streetcar. Look at this spot. So this is actually by the gym. The gym's over there, if you guys are wondering, but we found this cool spot where they just redid the roads and cleaned up the Tang Stang pretty good today. Took all the stickers off. Get some new ones made, but Kennedy's gonna get some photos of it, and pretty much perfect day for that. Look at that orange. Man, it looks good. So guys, the Mustang is back in the garage, looking good, all nice and cleaned up. Everything so far looks good. I do want to get it back on jack stands where it belongs, but I do want to get it back on jack stands, pretty much go over all the bolts. Anytime you like put something in, you know, suspension, driveline, anything like that, after you drive it a little bit, everything kind of loosens up. So I am gonna put it back on jack stands and just go over everything and just make sure everything is good to go. There is no races coming up in the next few weeks. Pretty much the next thing is the flashlight shootout, and maybe I'll get the car out there for some testing. As you guys know, Kevin and I actually started the flashlight shootout and we actually run it. So it's kind of hard for us to race our cars at the actual flashlight shootout being is that we're really involved with it, but there usually is testing the night before, so maybe we'll get some testing in with the car because the track is not that good at Amarillo Dragway, but for the flashlight shootout, we have different expectations for what the track should be, and the track does comply, and I think the best it's ever been is at the flashlight shootout. So they really take their time and try and prep it as best as they can. Now, it's not as good as when you go out of town, obviously, but it is for Amarillo the best you'll get in Amarillo. So the Mustang is back. It's running really good. Everything's looking good so far. No leaks on the transmission so far, which is really good. I still need to hook up the trans temp gauge so I can actually keep an eye on it this time. But other than that, everything seems to be doing really good with the Mustang. It is just crazy, crazy hot right now. The car was getting a little hot the other day when I took it out for pictures because it was like 107 degrees and I got on it a little bit and it was just way too hot. But on the way back, we waited literally an hour, maybe 2 hours, and after we took pictures and some videos, and the temperature outside dropped by like 5 to 10 degrees, and the car ran perfectly cool. So it was just way too hot out. This car, I mean, no one wants to be out in 107, 106 degree weather. So the car is running really good though. I can't wait to get it back to a track. Pretty much, this car is literally set up to go sevens. It's just, like I said in previous videos, it's just one of those things, getting it to some good air, getting it to the right track, and just having everything work out pretty well. So now that we have all the boost issues fixed, if you guys don't know, that's how we broke the input shaft on the transmission. I bought a built Turbo 400. It had super nice parts in it, except for it did have a stock input shaft in it. So Precision Transmission, they hooked it up. They rebuilt the transmission with all good parts. It was definitely a good investment in the car. It was a little bit more expensive than I thought it would be, but it's got really, really nice parts in the transmission. And so that shouldn't give us any problems. So now that we fixed the boost issues with the car, we should be able to throw 30 plus pounds of boost at it. And if you guys don't know, this is a Gen 3 Coyote, so it does have 12-to-1 compression. And yeah, upwards of 28 to low 30 pounds of boost on a high compression motor is a lot of power. So I'm really excited to see what the car can actually do. Finally, the car started a mile an hour better and better as we figured out the boost issue. But then, like I said, the transmission broke. So we still haven't seen the full potential of this car, but it's definitely there. It's just a matter of making it work. But Joe and I have the tune-ups figured out pretty good for launch, RPM, boost ramp, all that good stuff, depending on the track conditions. And so really, we just need to get it to a track now. So everything's there for the Tang Stang. We just got to get to the track, make it happen. And I'm really excited to take you guys along for that because this thing's going to go fast. And, you know, summer will be over here soon. You know, in a month or two, summer will be over and it'll start cooling off. And then we can get back to racing and get back to the private rentals in Dallas. Like I said, with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, some of the races have been canceled. Our flashlight shootout is still a go as of now. It's August 22nd here in Amarillo, Texas. And then hopefully after that, we'll see a bunch of races pop back up. A lot of races have been canceled, but like Streetcar Takeover, they've been able to do Denver, OKC. They've been able to do a few in Dallas. So hopefully once the weather cools off and some of this stuff blows over, hopefully we'll get back to racing all the time. If you guys didn't know, before, you can go check my old videos, but we were going to Dallas. Shoot, there was a time we went to Dallas like 3 or 4 weekends in a row. So I'm not afraid to travel with the car. It's just a matter of things being open and it not being so damn hot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am to get the car back. I'm really, really excited. And really, I couldn't do any of this without any of the sponsors that have helped out with this build so far. RPG Engines, they've built me a super stout motor. Will over there is awesome. He's a super busy guy, but you guys can hit him up, RPG Engines. Tell him I sent you. BMR suspension has helped me out a ton. This car went super fast, like in the early stages, because one of the first things I did was cradle lockouts, vertical links, and BMR drag springs from BMR. And now I have their front K-member. And then I paired the BMR suspension with some Viking Crusader shocks in the rear and some Viking front coilovers with some BMR caster camera plates up front. So if you guys need anything from BMR suspension, you can use my discount code VANV39, VANV39, and save you a little bit and get your free shipping. But BMR, this car would not leave without the right proper suspension. So huge thanks to those guys. Team Lethal Performance. If you guys don't know, I run the whole Division X Lethal Performance fuel system on this car. It's a triple pump system. It's got their rails, their fuel lines. Super nice stuff, and I've ran that on the car ever since the first turbo build that we did on the car. And huge thanks to Motion Raceworks. They've set me up with a lot of the safety stuff on the car and then a lot of the lightweight stuff. So if you guys don't know, this car does have a manual rack, manual steering column, Motion Raceworks and MPI steering wheel, Motion Raceworks parachute, bar with Stroud parachute. So, and Motion Raceworks CO2 kit. So that's solved a lot of my boost issues right there. But yeah, huge thanks to Doug and those guys. Motion Raceworks always helping out. Maven Speed, Maven Performance. I do run the Maven turbo mount. So Maven makes these really cool turbo mounts if you guys want to go back and look at some of my older videos. But Maven makes these mounts that go where the oil drain is on your turbo, and then you can weld some chromoly to that. So pretty much you can support your turbo the correct way, and then it helps you mount the turbo wherever you want to mount it instead of having to have the turbo rest on the headers. Because when your turbo's resting on like the headers or a cross pipe, you know, over time all that weight can crack welds. So the best way to do it, use one of these Maven mounts. It literally sits in between the exhaust housing and the turbine, or the cold side, I guess. But it sits like right where the oil drain is, and you can support your turbo the correct way. And so that's the right way to do it. But yeah, without any of these companies, none of this would be possible. TG Motorsports helped out a lot on this car in the early stages. And like I said, wouldn't be anywhere without any of these sponsors that helped out. So I did take all the sponsor stickers off of the car, which looks really clean. But the reason why is because if you guys don't know, I am wrapping the car. And so I'm going to get all the stickers made in the wrap so that it matches. But that's the only reason why they're off the car. But man, cars always look super clean without the stickers. But you got to support the people that support you. So huge thanks to those companies. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. But they've helped out a ton on this build. And almost forgot. Not sponsored by One Ethanol, but I do run their fuel. Super awesome guys over there. They helped me out a little bit on the fuel, but that fuel is awesome. I would only run that fuel on an E85 tuned car. So I run the One Ethanol R. That stuff works really, really good. And yeah, if you need some good quality fuel and you're sick of testing your E85 at the pump and you want a little bit better, you want some race E85, hit up the guys at One Ethanol. That stuff is awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to shut up now. And huge thanks to John Lund Jr. for always putting up with me. I'm not sponsored by Lund Racing, but if you guys don't know, this car has always been tuned by Lund Racing. John Lund Jr. has been a massive, massive help from tuning the car to helping out with suspension settings on the car, because I'm new to the IRS with this car. And so John Lund Jr., you know, they've been 118 60 foots on their IRS car, and they've been a huge, huge help. So huge thanks to John Lund Jr., Lund Racing. They don't sponsor the car either, but they've helped me out a ton with just questions and answers, and this being a 2018 build. So some of the stuff we've done on this car has been really not done before. So they've been a huge help in trying to help me figure it out. And the tuning has always been on point. I've never had a problem with the tune in this car. Literally, the tune is so good on this car, I mainly just have to mess with launch RPM, launch boost, boost ramp, and overall boost, and then the shock settings. But like anytime I go out of town, anytime I drive the car here, the tune is literally spot on. So John Lund Jr. has these Mustangs figured out. And when I had the 10-speed in the car, I had their transmission tune on it, and this thing shifted like butter. But I got rid of the 10-speed, went turbo 400 because I want to go fast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to shut up now and go comment on Kevin's video. Tell him to race me and quit bitching out. I'll see you guys on the next one.